Have you ever noticed how loud the world has become? Everyone is performing, posting, proving, competing, trying to be seen, trying to be liked, trying to matter in rooms filled with people who are also trying to matter. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, there are a few people who quietly step back. They stop arguing. They stop explaining. They stop chasing approval. Not because they failed at popularity, but because they discovered something more powerful. Peace. Choosing peace over popularity sounds simple, almost passive, almost weak. But psychologically, it is one of the hardest and strongest decisions a human being can make. Because popularity feeds the ego. Peace feeds the nervous system. And most people are addicted to ego. From childhood, we are trained to associate acceptance with safety. When you were praised, included, liked, your brain released dopamine. When you were ignored or rejected, it registered it as danger. Social belonging once meant survival, so your brain still treats it that way. This is why people tolerate toxic friendships. Why do they laugh at jokes they don't find funny? Why do they over-explain themselves in arguments they don't even believe in? Popularity feels like protection. But here the hidden cost. The more you depend on external validation, the more fragile your internal stability becomes. You start adjusting your personality to fit expectations. You monitor your words. You curate your opinions. You shrink parts of yourself to stay accepted. And slowly, without realizing it, you trade authenticity for applause. People who choose peace recognize this trade. At some point in their lives, they felt the exhaustion of performing, the mental fatigue of keeping up, the anxiety of being watched, the pressure of staying relevant. And something inside them asked the dangerous question: what if I don't need all of this? That question changes everything. Because when you stop needing everyone to like you, you gain some rare emotional autonomy. Emotionally autonomous people are not cold. They are not antisocial. They simply do not anchor their worth in public opinion. And that terrifies people who still do. Notice how society reacts when someone withdraws from unnecessary drama, when someone refuses to argue, when someone declines invitations without guilt, when someone posts less, speaks less, explains less. They are labeled arrogant, boring, detached, weird. Why? Because choosing peace disrupts the social validation game. When you opt out, you expose how much others are still trapped in it. But here's the deeper psychology. People who prioritize peace often have heightened self-awareness. They understand their emotional limits. They know what drains them. They recognize that overstimulation, too many opinions, too many voices, too much comparison dysregulates the nervous system. So instead of chasing stimulation, they protect regulation. This is not avoidance, it is emotional intelligence. There's a big difference between isolation and intentional solitude. Isolation comes from fear. Solitude comes from clarity. People choosing peace are not hiding, they are filtering. They ask themselves, does this conversation add value? Does this environment align with who I'm becoming? Does this conflict deserve my energy? If the answer is no, they disengage. And disengaging requires strength. Because popularity offers immediate rewards, likes, invitations, attention, social proof. Peace offers delayed rewards, stability, clarity, self-respect. One feeds your image. The other feeds your identity. And identity always outlasts image. Think about someone you know who constantly needs attention. They check their phone every few minutes. They react to every comment. They argue online. They jump into every trending topic. Now think about someone who moves quietly, selectively social, hard to provoke, calm in arguments, not desperate to be understood by everyone. Who seems more powerful? True power is emotional non-reactivity. When you choose peace, you stop giving people access to your nervous system. Not everyone gets to trigger you. Not everyone gets a response. Not every misunderstanding requires correction. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The more at peace you become, the smaller your circle often gets. Because peace filters out chaos. Some friendships survive only through shared complaining. Some groups bond over gossip. Some connections exist purely because of constant contact. When you reduce drama, those bonds weaken. This is why choosing peace can feel lonely at first. You are no longer participating in what once connected you to others. But that loneliness is temporary, because eventually something shifts. You start attracting people who don't need constant noise to feel close. Conversations become deeper, fewer but richer. You stop proving yourself and start being yourself. And that is when popularity loses its grip. There is another psychological layer most people ignore. Many who chase popularity are unconsciously trying to heal rejection wounds. The child who felt unseen becomes the adult who wants to be admired. The teenager who felt excluded becomes the adult who overperforms socially. Choosing peace often means confronting those old wounds instead of masking them with attention. It means sitting alone without distraction, facing silence without panic, accepting that not everyone will understand you. That level of internal work is uncomfortable, but it creates unshakable confidence. Because when you are at peace alone, you stop fearing abandonment. And when you stop fearing abandonment, you stop tolerating disrespect. This is why people who choose peace walk away more easily. Not because they don't care, but because they care about their mental health more than their image. They understand something most people learn too late. Not every battle is meant to be won. Some are meant to be left. If this resonates with you, pause for a moment. Ask yourself honestly, how many decisions have you made just to stay liked? How many times have you said yes when you meant no? How many arguments did you continue just to prove a point? And how many sleepless nights came from worrying about what someone thinks of you? Be honest, because awareness is the first step toward peace. If you're starting to realize that you've been prioritizing popularity over peace, you're not alone. Most people are conditioned to do exactly that. But the moment you notice it, you gain choice. And choice is power. If this is hitting deeper than expected, take a second to like this video and subscribe, not for popularity, but because we explore the kind of psychology that helps you understand yourself, not impress others. Now here's the final layer. Peace is not passive, it is disciplined. It means controlling impulses. It means delaying reactions. It means not responding to every message immediately. It means letting misunderstandings exist without obsessively fixing them. It means trusting that the right people won't require constant performance. And perhaps the most powerful shift happens here. When you choose peace consistently, you stop trying to win people and start winning yourself. You sleep better. You think clearer. Your energy stabilizes. You realize that being respected quietly feels better than being admired loudly. Popularity is loud but fragile. Peace is quiet but durable. One depends on others. The other depends on you. And the rarest individuals understand this. The goal is not to be known by everyone. The goal is to be aligned with yourself. Because at the end of the day, when the noise fades and the audience disappears, you are left alone with your mind. And if that mind is calm, you've already won.